Hey everyone, I hope you guys are doing well. I thank each and every one of you that take the time out of your busy schedule to watch my videos, and I thank everyone for their support over the years. As promised, I'm making a video now on inquiries. I had a couple of people reach out to me in reference towards this, and I'm going to give you some tips and information. But first, just by talking to people, one thing that people need to know, especially all the whole credit industry, credit itself is a form of slavery. You're making money for some corporation, some person, somebody else. You're actually being a slave, honestly and truthfully. So the lender, the borrower is slave to the lender. That's what it says in Proverbs. You're slave to the lender. So when you're thinking about credit, I don't care how good your credit score is, it is nothing but golden handcuffs. You want to be wise with what you're doing with this credit. If you're borrowing to turn around to take that leverage to create or make money, that's where it's at. So you want to review what you're doing with your credit. A lot of people, not everybody I talk to about credit, some of their problems with credit comes because they have never, what I call, got delivered from people's opinions. Most people want to get a better car, which soon as you drive that car off the lot, depreciate in value. 10 grand, 20 grand, soon as you drive it out the lot, off the lot, if God forbid, if you have an accident, you can't get what you paid for it for. That's what you have, gap insurance. It decreased in value. So there's things like assets, like houses, that increase in value. But single family houses, things like that, it's a way you're supposed to do it. Unless it's an income property, that unfortunately too is a liability. So when you read the book, everyone should have Rich Dad, Poor Dad. It discusses what is an asset and what is a liability. A lot of people are going out, getting things, driving to get things that only is going to be a liability for them to really appease other people's opinion about them. I never was brought up on name brand clothing. My parents never invested in that. But let me tell you what they beat in my head. Buy a house, buy a house, buy a house. 21, I bought a house. Income property. Because that's what I was taught. A lot of people have poverty type of thinking. Don't mean because you're in poverty, you have to have a poverty mindset. Because there have been many times that I've been broke as a joke. But I would never tell anyone that I was broke. I continued on knowing I don't have a poverty mindset, that it's going to be all right. Because if I keep doing what I'm doing, God ultimately always make a way. Because there's certain principles that you need to follow. I read the Bible, not to have a poverty type of mindset. A lot of people, I don't care if you give them $1 million, $2 million, they're going to probably be in worse debt because of their way of thinking, because they want to appease to other people's opinions, and they're around other poverty type of thinking people. You have to watch the company you keep. Hey, Apostle Paul said, corrupt conversation distort good habits. You need to review the circle that you're in. Is everybody around there broke? Is everybody around there poverty? Is nobody going anywhere? You need to remove yourself from that circle. And key is, wise men in Proverbs, it said, attain to wise counsel. It seems like a simple thing, like duh, but you'll be surprised how people take information from people who's doing the worst in their life and always have. So please review that. Make sure you're delivered from other people's opinions, because that's most people's problem with credit. Granted, it's some people that got into some situations. But if you focus on getting assets rather than liabilities, hopefully that should curtail that problem. So let's get into inquiries. Inquiries are really kind of simple to deal with. I have a book called A Quick Guide on How to Boost Your Credit and Stop Collections, where I go in depth. Inquiries is almost just like these other things, but quite simpler with just credit cards and that same situation. It comes down to contracts. Did you give these people permission, written permission, to pull your credit? You have to definitely be very careful with certain companies, like especially like with car dealerships. They'll keep pulling your credit sometime annually and or even every 3 months and sending you these marketing tools in the mail. So you have to be careful and find out, do they have permission? And you can simply follow it and do it in writing. I have some letters already in my book that's already pre-written, and it will follow you from step to step. So I've written down some things that I want to highlight. Inquiries will last for about 24 months on your credit. That's 2 years. The first 12 months is where they take the most out of your credit. It hits your credit harder than the last 12 months. So you want to attack the more recent things first, and the most recent inquiries first. And the way you can find out is reviewing your credit report. And the probably about each pull is from 3 to 5 points. And like I said, that can last up to 2 years on your credit. Then what you want to make sure you have access to your credit report when you start writing these companies requesting proof that you gave them permission to pull your credit. Because once you begin to work on this, you want to make sure that you have access to your credit report to see if they removed these inquiries. You can kind of do this fairly quickly if you're timing it right. They can be off as quick as 30 days, 15 days. Sometimes if the creditor or whoever you was soliciting, trying to solicit credit from, if they're a little more stubborn, you might have to take a further step. So you want to make sure you document date and times, any times that you're dealing with your credit, and keep a journal, because timing on it is very important when you send them a notice and the time that you should be receiving a response. I go into detail about that in my book. And also, the last important thing, you can use your local court system, because this is really an injustice. If you really did not give these people permission to pull your credit report, you can still, like I always say, that's defamation of character. They're putting out information about you that is just not true. This final step is a very effective way that I always have gotten success from when I followed the steps. I included it in my book. It's a whole chapter, but there's step-by-step things that you should do, a way you should do it to guarantee that you're coming out with the best outcome as possible. So with inquiries, they're very easy to remove. Probably about the easiest thing that I know to remove and the simplest things to remove. But if you review it, you want to make sure you do it right and do it in a timely fashion. As always, I'm not a lawyer. This is coming from my own personal experience, and these things have worked for me in the past. So I hope you guys have a blessed day. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you enjoy your day. Thank you.